All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fifth episode of, or I am sorry, that's the sixth. Welcome to the sixth episode of the season two of Omchain Talks. Today we have AirNFTs in protocol joining us. I'll be sending out the invites soon. Let me just go here. All right. I think within a minute we'll be able to start. I hope that everyone is having a great day. Recently, a devastating earthquake happened in Turkey. That's why our team is majorly based in Turkey. We weren't able to conduct on-chain talks, but now we're back. All right. So now I think the alien is with us. Hi, alien.
I
Can you hear
am.
us?
Hey, yes, I can hear you. First of all, I want to send my condolences and all our thoughts from the FIO team, the entire FIO family, and the community to anybody like in Turkey affected by the earthquake. I'm happy you're back, and I'm sorry for like hopefully Turkey is strong. It will, but I had to open with this because like it's humanity comes before everything.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your good wishes because it was a really huge earthquake. I was there after like 2 3 days. Uh, it was a devastating event. So yeah, we are all sorry about that. All right, so let's get back to the topic. I think I am waiting for Air NFTs to join as well, and then Air NFTs. If you're here, just you can send me a DM, your username. Before Air NFTs join to us, Elin, I would like to ask you a specific question about your protocol. What are the recent updates? Would you like to tell us the recent updates with your protocol for like a few minutes, and then we can start with the Bitcoin NFTs?
Yes, of course. So in FIO protocol, we have like we try to make crypto easier to use for everybody. So because we think that there is like, and it's funny, like the parallels, like today with the ordinals, like it's already the system is getting better. So like our updates, so we entered into OpenSea. We have like something called domain wrapping. So it took us a little bit to develop, but now it's like finally live. So for example, if you have domains, you can just like grab them and post them in different NFT platforms. So basically, like domains are very important aspects for like interacting with the Web3. But it's different than the URLs. In the URL, you access the sites, but with the Web3 domains, you actually use them like to send NFTs. You use them like to transfer money. You use them for like a lot of utilities. So it's a different thing. But there is a component always, which is people like speculation, and it's totally legitimate and it's great. Like people have these hopes. The same thing will go to NFT campaigns, hoping that their NFT campaign, NFT project will be big, that the community will be thriving, and some people like to sell the NFT for profit. Same thing with the domain, like. For like the beginning of FIO, all domains were always the same price: $2 per handle and $4.40 for domain. But now, since we offer customers the option to put their domains on sale, so somebody can buy it for like 40, or like they can buy a cheap one, and then they can like sell it for whatever they want, because speculation is actually like a human need. And like in crypto and blockchain, we are still new, the same way as like the early internet. So some people buy the websites domain to build the websites, and some people buy the domains to speculate. And yeah, so now we're given this human need that we think it's only fair to do. I'm sorry for talking too much.
No worries. I think even after like 20 years, 30 years, still, in Web2 domain business is a real thing, and people still make money if they have a real nice domain. So thinking about that, I think that I'm actually seeing how do I say promising future for the Web3 domains as well. So we have Pri from the Air NFTs. Hi Pri, welcome to the space.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. How is it going?
It's going fine. We were just waiting for you to join. Meanwhile, I asked the alien what are the recent updates and how is it going over the FIO protocol. So Pri, I have the same question for you. How are things with Air NFTs? What do you think the NFT will do like in the near future or distant future? Where do you see the NFTs before we get started with the actual topic?
So the current NFT space is doing better than what it was doing last year. So, the last year what was terrible. It was, bear markets, the volumes were down by almost 80-90% for all the market spaces, and same was for us. But this year we are seeing the volume picking up, and we are seeing that NFTs are doing well in terms of volume. So we think it's going to be a good year, and that's what we think what's happening. And with the other narratives like Ordinals, I think the space is really picking up.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I actually have one question, because you are working with Air NFTs, and you're actually the CMO and business development head at Air NFTs. So this is actually a personal question from me. It's a personal question for me. I mean, why do you think people are buying or selling or trading NFTs? Is it like, when you look at the user base, are most of the users trading NFTs to make money, or there are like more and more people who are collecting things? Or can you say that there is at least a specific amount of people, specific percentage of people who are buying NFTs for the utilities? So where do you see the market right now?
So it's both, right? So there are people who are flipping it for, just making a profit in the short term. And then there are collectors who are actually seeking some value in the long term, which we have seen in, some of the projects like Board Ape Yacht Club. So people who are actually collectors were really, holding their NFTs for long term, right? Coming to the utility part. So obviously NFT is divided into, the NFT space is divided into a lot of, sub niches like, gaming, DeFi, and so on and so forth. So if you talk about utility specifically, so a lot of things are being developed in the crypto gaming space, which can be one of the major utilities for these NFTs. Speaking of crypto gaming, still it's in a very nascent stage, though a lot of projects have already been developed and are building. There are going to be a lot of utilities in the crypto gaming space in terms of NFTs as a utility. And in future we are going to see that there are going to be a lot of big games which are being developed and using NFTs, in which people would be able to buy and sell in game items, and do a lot of NFT trading via that crypto gaming utility. So I think as you said, there are a lot of reasons for people still buying NFTs or creating NFTs. So what we are seeing right now is the utility is still being explored, and it is going to be a long term game when it comes to NFTs for this.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your contribution here. I hope that my microphone is okay and everyone can hear me. All right, so let's dive into the topic. First of all, before we get started, if there are people who don't know anything about Ordinals, the Bitcoin NFTs, I would like to give an introduction about the Ordinals and Bitcoin NFTs, and what are they and what they're not. So basically, when we use the term NFT, it means a non-fungible token that is usually issued on a blockchain that has smart contract or let's say programmable capabilities. Aside from that, it's one of the first. I'm not saying that it's the first time that someone tried to create something that that is similar to NFTs on Bitcoin blockchain. But basically, other than those programmable blockchains, we didn't hear or we didn't see much of NFTs that we're talking about right now. So NFTs is a term. They're like non-fungible tokens. Any two NFTs are not equal. They might be similar, they might be belonging to the same contract, but they all have or let's say they all have unique identifiers that enables people to distinct them from any other NFT in the blockchain or the network. So basically, a former Bitcoin Core developer started a project and named it Ordinals. Like it's not the name of the project, but for the simplification, he created another protocol allows people to use the block space on the Bitcoin blockchain to record some data on the Bitcoin blockchain. Some people, without even issuing NFTs, they started storing some different data. They started storing, domains. They started storing different and all sorts of stuff. And there was the first project that we could maybe call NFTs, and they actually made a, how do I say, they actually started a huge conversation in the NFT space as well as Bitcoin space. From the technical perspective, unlike the NFTs that we have on Ethereum, Solana, or other blockchains, the ordinals are actually not the NFTs. What I mean by that is Bitcoin blockchain utilizes a UTXO based blockchain infrastructure, which more or less works like the fiat currency that we have. For example, if you want to make a $50 payment to someone, what you do is like you give two $20 bills and then two $5 bills. You pay with four different bills for a bill of $50. And then how ordinals or maybe inscriptions, it's more or less the other name for the ordinals or the NFTs. How they work is that they basically pick a dollar bill, just to make it simple for everyone here. They just pick a dollar bill and then they write something on it, or they inscribe, they put a photo on it, and then they transfer that specific $1 bill to an empty wallet. And then from that moment, if you transact that one specific dollar that you can track on the blockchain, that means that you're also transacting the information, data, or the image that is embedded onto that specific dollar bill. So with that sense, you're actually simulating the transaction of an NFT, which is actually not an NFT. You're still on the Bitcoin blockchain. You're still transferring some financial value, that is the Bitcoin, but but you have a way of now claiming or saying that you're transferring an NFT on the Bitcoin blockchain. That specific dollar bill is usually a specific Satoshi, the smallest unit possible that you transact on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that specific Satoshi, by the social consensus, the reason why I'm saying social consensus is that most of the time that this specific Satoshi and the inscription on it could be seen by a third party, is called the ordinals or the intentions or the Bitcoin NFTs, more or less, just to simplify. So if I have said anything wrong in the technical perspective, I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to simplify it for the overseer to understand what's going on. So again, I would like to ask you, Pri, do you think the Bitcoin NFTs are the real NFTs, or like, do you think that a community could be built, by utilizing those NFTs or by issuing those NFTs? Because right now, from my personal experiences, I can say that I am seeing there are like Bitcoin maxis who say that Bitcoin is the one coin to rule them all, and other blockchains or other projects or smart contract platforms are not that valuable. And we can see that often the NFT blockchains, or like the blockchains with the NFT collections, or like the blue chips, they have the idea of building a community. They have the idea of getting together and building something big. So do you think that the Bitcoin blockchain ecosystem is, how do I say, viable for the NFTs, and where do you see the future of Bitcoin NFTs?
Yeah, that was a good introduction for Ordinals. Yes, I think there is a community being built around this new concept of Ordinals, and obviously because it's a new thing, it's going to take some time. But we can see it has been trending very fast from the time it has come out in the market. And there are going to be maxis. There are Bitcoin maxis. There are ETH maxis. They are always going to stay there, and they are going to endlessly debate about whether Ordinals should stay on Bitcoin or it shouldn't. And still, as you asked, that is it also an NFT? Can we call it an NFT? Obviously we can call it an NFT because it is right. It's inscribed with each individual Satoshi. So it is it's an NFT in the space that it's on chain. We know that it's on chain and it is linked to the individual Satoshi. So obviously this new concept of ordinal NFTs is picking up, and whether or not it's going to stay long term, that we have to see. Even I am looking forward to all the updates and the developments happening right now. And what I've seen is that different types of projects are being built right now, be it NFT marketplaces for the ordinals, be it some DeFi projects for borrowing and lending, and inscription services, escrow services. So yeah, a lot of things are already happening for the ordinals. So I think it's uh, it's 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 going to stay here for long.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, one thing that comes to my mind, especially that you are also an NFT marketplace, because usually if you have NFTs from Ethereum network or Polygon, or let's say from the Omchain network, for the integration part, it's easy. All you have to do is just like add another network to your infrastructure, just adjust the RPC URLs, and then adjust the contract addresses. there you go. As long as the NFT that you're buying and selling is either ERC 721 or ERC 1155, it's fairly easy, fairly fast to integrate NFTs to an existing NFT marketplace. And I hope that in the future, Omchain NFTs could be integrated to the Air NFTs as well. But if you look at the ordinals or the inscriptions or the Bitcoin NFTs, you see that you realize that technically there's different, because all of the NFTs that are being issued are literally being represented by an individual Satoshi. Now, that how do you build an infrastructure that is going to be storing a lot of Satoshis? There will be that is going to allow people to bid on those Satoshis. Would they be using Bitcoin for bidding? Would they be using Ethereum? Would we be building bridges and then just like let the inscriptions be on the Bitcoin blockchain and do the actual trading or flipping or buying and selling on the other smart contract platforms? From my point of view, it seems much easier to just build a bridge and then do whatever you want on other blockchains. But then again, people who would be willing to use those products, and if you again look at it, I mean, like Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, all of them have this, both the actual blockchain users. On top of that, they're like DEX users, and on top of that, they're like NFT marketplace users. Whereas in the Bitcoin, there is no decentralized exchange, there is no NFT marketplace, because it's simply a UTXO based blockchain infrastructure. So I hope that in the future we'll get to see more and more about the inscriptions and ordinals, and I hope that they bring another how do I say vision to us, and tell us that previously what we thought was impossible. If you look at it, maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, no one would be saying that you can issue NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. I mean, like technically it was possible, but no one knew about it, no one talked about it, and right now we're talking about it. So aside from that, I want to ask the alien about the Web3 domains on possibly on the Bitcoin blockchain. So alien, what do you think? Like, do you think, or as the FIO protocol? I mean, you can also talk on behalf of the FIO protocol. Will you be integrating the Bitcoin domains? How do you stand on the recent
Well,
developments of the ordinals?
actually, like, yeah, this is something we're looking forward to, both the ordinals and Nostra, like, social media
Can you
on
hear
blockchain,
me,
on
alien?
Bitcoin. Oh, can you hear me?
I think
Hello?
there might be a problem with my
How
microphone.
about, can you hear me? Can you guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can't hear you, alien. Can you try speaking?
How about now? Can you hear me now?
We
Hello?
cannot hear you, I think. Pri, can you hear?
No, no. Yeah, I can hear him. Please go on. I can hear him.
Okay, okay. If you can, then I will just even reconnect. Right? You guys can go on.
All right.
Oh, okay. So about the ordinals, this is actually something that we were expecting. This is something we created a post about last year. And now to give a little background for everyone here, back in I think April of last year, Jack Dorsey announced Web5, which is like Web3 basically, but like on the Bitcoin network. And there was a funny situation where everybody was saying Web5. How did we get from Web3 to Web5? And everybody was saying, where is Web4? And then Jack Dorsey made a brilliant joke, but like it just disappeared. He said, "Did you really miss it?" So what he means by that joke is that Web3 is the one like the NFTs, the metaverse games, and everything, and Web4 is actually the symbiotic web. Like basically, like you want to suggest you suggest to the machine, to the learning machine, I want to see this content, I want to see this content, and this is exactly what we've been having like for years. So now there's Web5. So in Web5, like entire infrastructures are being built on the Bitcoin blockchain, and they will offer so many solutions. For example, now the ordinals is still a little bit not user friendly, but there are external parties that make it very easy to inscribe your ordinal and everybody. So like application will be built. I think that mass adoption will be easier with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is still king, like as we speak, like as a volume and everything. So imagine all that audience now coming to the NFT market, coming to like the Web3 market. So I think it's only a positive. And when it comes to the ordinals, for example, there are some brands like Louis Vuitton, like fashion brands and everything. They want to enter the market, but the NFT market. But the problem is forgeries. Forgeries is still a problem in the NFT markets. But now with the ordinals, it makes it much more easier because the data is actually incorruptible. So even though there are solutions like the ones we offer, like NFT signatures and other providers offers, still Bitcoin solves this. So I think it will be perhaps like it will die off like all hypes for a little bit. Like in the long term, I see like a bright future for that. I don't know. What do you think, Pri?
Yeah, I think the point which you said about the forgery, it makes the most important relevance for the Bitcoin ordinals, because it's totally on chain. So obviously it prevents from copying or forging that NFT and making a duplicate one. So I think that's one of the biggest advantage. Uh, Speaking about comparing the advantages and the disadvantages, there's one thing which is still right now difficult for ordinals, is that the whole process of the inscribing and the uploading the image if you have an artwork, and then you use the inscribing service, in which then you get the ordinal sent to your wallet. It may take a couple of hours. I've heard it may take even days. So that infrastructure still has to be built, so to make the ease of access to use these Bitcoin NFTs for the masses. Like it's very easy right now to buy and sell NFTs on Ethereum or BNB chain or Polygon. So that if that infrastructure is placed even for ordinals, I think the adoption will be huge.
Yeah,
Yes,
and also I want to
absolutely.
add one thing here. I know some people, and I meet with a lot of people who are in the same situation. They met with the Bitcoin maybe in like 2011, 2012 through 2015 or 2016, and they're just holding Bitcoin. They don't know much about other tokens. They don't know much about other exchanges other than the one that they purchased the coins. They don't know much about NFTs, and they basically do not follow the space as well. They're like, they don't know that the space is that big right now, and there are a lot of products. It's not just like person, two people, but like I know actually a lot of people who are in that situation. But when the Bitcoin ordinals came out, when they were like first released, and people started, minting NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain, I started getting questions from those people. They started asking like, "Hey, what are those?" And then they're like, do I have to do something to mint an Bitcoin NFT? Do I have to switch a wallet? Do I have to do something else? So basically I think one of the best things that Bitcoin NFTs are going to be bringing to the space is that the adoption, because then people learn more about NFTs, and not just about NFTs but actually the capabilities of the Bitcoin blockchain as well. I mean, we just talk about the NFTs as well as the domains, but if you think about it, if you can inscribe an image, if you can inscribe a data to the bit blockchain and use it as a, how do I say, decentralized storage, what if the legal agreements or like any other valuable paper being stored, I mean, like not literally but some sort of a cryptographic hash of it, or a cryptographic proof being stored on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I think that from the tech perspective, the Bitcoin NFTs are going to be adding a lot of value to the creators as well as to our imaginations, because now, I mean, but now we see that it is possible. So I think there is a huge difference between two of them. What do you guys think?
I think as well. And like because adoption in Bitcoin, like people maxis, they change their minds when they see the usability, and this happened before. Like in 2011, I don't know if you guys know Dan Larimer, the one who created EOS. So he told Satoshi that Bitcoin will never be like currency unless like it's fast and instantaneous, which was that like it became a meme when Satoshi told him, if you don't understand it, I don't have time to explain it to you. 2016, Dan went on to build Steemit.com, the first Web3 platform, social media on the platform. And fun fact, like I was the creator and co-host of the first book club in Web3 ever, 2016, with Neil Strauss. Anyway, so back then, a lot of people were, like thinking from Bitcoin that Bitcoin is just like tokens. Then comes, like, and they hated Dan because of what he said, that like things should be fast and instantaneous. Then came the Lightning Network, and everybody adopted it, despite they were saying that like speed means nothing. So now that we have this utility, and now we have Web5 coming with decentralized nodes and everything, I'm pretty sure that because we've seen this with the Nostra, the social media on the Bitcoin blockchain. A lot of people that were saying that Bitcoin is only currency, like now they create social profiles and everything. People always change their mind, and it's admirable when there's like a better, when there's like something that brings more engagement. So I think that Bitcoin NFTs will create even more engagement from the Bitcoin community, and worldwide as well, because Bitcoin like still have like massive amounts of users, and this is also usability for the companies. Like, for example, if some company, I was talking, for example, with Flow Blockchain, and they're talking with NBA, they're talking with La Liga, with like major players. And Bitcoin NFTs could solve some of these problems. They could likely choose that. And this is why I admire actually NFTs, because they don't have only NFTs in one chain. You guys have, if I'm not mistaken, BNB chain, Phantom, Matic, right? And like the future.
And hopefully Omchain in the future, I think. Yeah,
Yes,
go on.
let's hope. Let's hope on-chain as well. So the future is that, like, cross-chain, bridges, and Bitcoin will play an important part of that. I have no doubt.
Yeah, so I think again, another thing that Pri was mentioning about the user interface and minting takes too long time. I think it's still how do I say? It's not even the MVP. It's not even the alpha. I think we're still in the early days of Bitcoin NFT. Because if you think about the actual NFTs that were first issued on the Ethereum blockchain, before OpenSea, before the ERC-721 standard, there were many different projects, including the CryptoPunks, if I'm not mistaken. They're not, ERC-721 compliant. So if you think about it, first people do something. It's always like that when it's about the innovation. First people come up with something, and then if there's a demand on the market, then other people also do that something, and then those people come together and say, hey guys, this is not the way that we should be going, because just like with the ERC-20 standard, we're all building different tokens, we're all building different NFTs. Let's gather up together, let's come together, and then let's just build how do I say, a standard. And then we get to have everything being standardized, and then we get to have the development boom when people are integrating different things to the existing standard or building things on top of that standard. So I think we're still early on that, and I really would like to see ordinals or inscriptions on the AirNFTs marketplace as well in the future.
Yes, indeed. If this thing picks up, then I think all the major marketplaces are going to integrate, the Ordinals NFTs. And apart from the Ordinals NFTs, I had a question for Alien, that what do you think about .btc names and .sats, those two names? Do you think they are going to get popular and, gain mainstream, traction? Do you think those BTC domain names are going to, be actually used? Because I'm seeing that a lot of people are right now, buying those.
Yes, I think for a while they'll be popular, but I think ultimately, like, people will have their domains to their own name, like without like the extension, because they're like the entire scene is growing. Like EOS and Cosmos are waiting on like a lot of like cool like to be announced soon. So people will have like .btc domain, then they'll have like .e domain. So, but ultimately, like I'm pretty sure that like people will have a domain like according to their own identity. So now it's their identity attached to a chain. So the maxis for sure they're gonna have like a .btc. So I'm sure it's gonna be popular, but I still think that in the long run it will be individual.
It's basically like the actual domain names on the internet, I think, because initially it was like only .com, .org, .gov for the government purposes, .edu for educational institutions. But right now we have a lot of different domain names, and now seeing that no one cares about the first reason those domain names existed, because initially it was like if you were a company you would get a .com domain. But now people are just so used to that .com domain, they're just like, hey, I have an awesome idea. Let's just make a website that says the best pancakes in the world.com. You don't think about, hey, this is not a company, or this is not something. Let's choose another domain name. The same thing goes with the IO domain as well, and other domains. So it's more or less the user's preference that I agree with the alien on that.
Yeah, exactly. And the when this trend will change is the moment that like big institutions, same thing we saw in 2020, a lot of financial institutions like entered like the crypto market, especially Bitcoin. So now a lot of institutions are entering, like from fashion, UFC, sport, like everybody's entering. So when that happens, you cannot use, for example, your ETH domain on something on a BTC chain or vice versa, or for example, like your Avalanche domain, you cannot use it. So that moment, when the users like wanna, I think like interoperability will be key as much as the sector grows. So, for example, Bitcoin domains will be very popular in the few projects that are being built in Bitcoin. but you cannot use them for, like on ETH-based platforms and vice versa. So I don't know if there's like a bridge in between domains that could happen. But yeah, I think for the time being, it's like the early internet, exactly as Osman said. So yeah, I think there will be demand for them.
Yeah, by the way, I received a question from a friend. Do you guys know is there a domain name service on the Bitcoin blockchain right now? Is there an existing domain provider?
I don't think so, because people are, like we're connecting, trying to connect with Nostra, the domain provider. Some people from there like DM'd some friends of mine. So I'm pretty sure if there was like some Bitcoin only domain provider that would have gone for that, but not that I know of.
Yeah, all
I
right.
think you can. I think you can check out Gamma. I think they have a marketplace, and they are doing a lot of things in this ordinals and Bitcoin domain names. You can just check out Gamma.io, and if it's possible to actually get a Bitcoin domain, because I was just checking them out recently. So I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like I know this before they were trying to make it easy to inscribe your own ordinals, but like this is great development.
Yeah, I think
I
I
think
think they are doing that. So maybe you can check out Gamma.
yeah, I think there is one that is being built on the stacks
Oh
because
yeah, I
the
see it.
stacks was being built. Yeah.
BNS, Bitcoin name system.
Yep, yep, yep. So the person who asked about that, I mean, like this brings another question to my mind. Now, the problem that FIO is trying to solve right now is that, look, we were first questioning about is there a domain name service on the Bitcoin blockchain? The answer is yes, there is one right now. But as an individual, do I have to go to Ethereum name service and buy one name, and then go to Bitcoin name service and buy one, and then go to Polygon name service and then buy another one? So it's gonna get really messy, and then because it's something that people are going to be sending you with. And let's say that I get the domain name meow.eth on the Ethereum service, and then if someone else gets the same name on the Bitcoin blockchain, they might be impersonating me. They might be trying that. So for that reason, I really like the FIO's approach, as the alien just said, that things should be interoperable. And I personally do not want to be buying 20 different domain names for every other blockchain that is going to be coming up in the future, because Coinbase recently introduced the base blockchain, a layer 2 solution for the Ethereum network. Then do I have to constantly hit refresh on my keyboard on my Twitter feed to find out that there is going to be a new blockchain? And then do I have to run to the name service when it first launches to get the domain name meow meow? So it's again really important to understand how we can move forward with these things. And I can still say that it's still early on the Bitcoin blockchain domains as well. I personally would like to, because I am an Omchain maxi. Just kidding. I mean, we love all the blockchains and networks and protocols, but I personally would like to get a domain name that is ending at OMC or at Omchain, or even the Moon domain name. I like it as well. So I think again, to answer your question, Pri, I think yeah, the maxis are going to be choosing the Bitcoin domains, but more or less people are going to be like people, I mean the end user. I am thinking that the end user would be demanding different domain names, different endings, and they would like to choose from that one, because maybe there will be some other community who would like to be using their community's name, for example, like cat lovers. Maybe they want to be like, hey, meow meow at cat lovers, and that's my address, that's my domain name.
I think this is analogy that you said, and like you raised an excellent point. Like people have to, for example, imagine like Tom Cruise, and then everybody using domain. He has to register one in every single domain. Tom Cruise that's ETH, Tom Cruise that's IVAX, Tom Cruise that's Bitcoin. You know, so it creates a problem. And what happens now with this gaming? Gaming, they say, it's like it's going to bring a lot of users into the blockchain space. So now, for example, like some of the most popular blockchain games, like Upland, like they're in EOS, or Cosmos are building few things again. So imagine like in 2 years, there's like so many games. So people have to buy like this domain for this game, this domain for this game. So it becomes like a little bit more complicated. I think the best analogy, I think, to describe this like we have like these defined group. Like for me, like all these blockchains, they seem to me like, I don't know if you guys remember the MIRC. Like back in the day, there was these chat rooms that you have to choose a server, like New York or like let's say Boston. So you only talk about with people from that server. If you want to talk with somebody like let's say from Rio de Janeiro, you have to join that server. So the same thing is like going on here. And then like Facebook arrived and all these things. So you can just like text people from all over the world, or LinkedIn, wherever, Twitter, like we're doing now, without having to choose like one server. So as people interact with certain blockchains, I personally think that there will be a time where everything is interoperable. And in this case, like those domains will not serve much. But for the time being, yes, they serve people to be in their community. Everybody that believes that their chain will win, like should have like like these guys, they buy domains like C.it, and other people they have to buy them all. But like for the user, as the ecosystem grows, yeah, I think interoperability will be like an amazing tool.
Yeah, that's great. So, do you guys have any other questions? Anything else that we haven't mentioned? More or less, I think we have mentioned the technical aspects of the ordinals, the Bitcoin NFTs. I might have said some technically wrong things to make things simpler. Alien, you have anything else to add? You have any jokes? Anything for the listeners?
Not today.
All right, no worries. I'm a joke myself. Just kidding. I'm not a joke. I'm the host of the show. Finally, I would like to ask if you don't have anything, if you want to add something about ETH on the Ethereum service. And then if someone else gets the same name on the Bitcoin blockchain, they might be impersonating me. They might be trying that. So for that reason, I really like the FIO's approach, as the alien just said, that things should be interoperable. And I personally do not want to be buying 20 different domain names for every other blockchain that is going to be coming up in the future, because Coinbase recently introduced the base blockchain, a layer 2 solution for the Ethereum network. Then do I have to constantly hit refresh on my keyboard on my Twitter feed to find out that there is going to be a new blockchain? And then do I have to run to the name service when it first launches to get the domain name meow meow? So it's again really important to understand how we can move forward with these things. And I can still say that it's still early on the Bitcoin blockchain domains as well. I personally would like to, because I am an Omchain maxi. Just kidding. I mean, we love all the blockchains and networks and protocols. But I personally would like to get a domain name that is ending at OMC, or at Omchain, or even the moon domain name. I like it as well. So I think again, to answer your question, Pri, I think, yeah, the maxis are going to be choosing the Bitcoin domains, but more or less people are going to be like people, I mean the end user. I am thinking that the end user would be demanding different domain names, different endings, and they would like to choose from that one, because maybe there will be some other community who would like to be using their community's name, for example, like cat lovers. Maybe they want to be like, hey, meow meow at cat lovers, and that's my address, that's my domain name.
I think this is analogy that you said, and like you raised an excellent point. Like people have to, for example, imagine like Tom Cruise, and then everybody using domain. He has to like, register one in every single domain. Tom Cruise that's ETH, Tom Cruise that's IVAX, Tom Cruise that's Bitcoin. You know, so it creates a problem. And what happens now with this gaming? Gaming, they say it's going to bring a lot of users into the blockchain space. So now, for example, like some of the most popular blockchain games, like Upland, like they're in EOS, or Cosmos are building few things again. So imagine like in 2 years, there's like so many games. So people have to buy like this domain for this game, this domain for this game. So it becomes like a little bit more complicated. I think the best analogy, I think, to describe this like we have like these defined group. Like for me, like all these blockchains, they seem to me like, I don't know if you guys remember the MIRC. Like back in the day, there was these chat rooms that you have to choose a server, like New York or like let's say Boston. So you only talk about with people from that server. If you want to talk with somebody like let's say from Rio de Janeiro, you have to join that server. So the same thing is like going on here. And then like Facebook arrived and all these things. So you can just like text people from all over the world, or LinkedIn, wherever, Twitter, like we're doing now, without having to choose like one server. So as people interact with certain blockchains, I personally think that there will be a time where everything is interoperable. And in this case, like those domains will not serve much. But for the time being, yes, they serve people to be in their community. Everybody that believes that their chain will win, like should have like like these guys, they buy domains like C, that's ETH, and other people they have to buy them all. But like for the user, as the ecosystem grows, yeah, I think interoperability will be like an amazing tool.
Yeah, that's great. So, do you guys have any other questions? Anything else that we haven't mentioned? More or less, I think we have mentioned the technical aspects of the ordinals, the Bitcoin NFTs. I might have said some technically wrong things to make things simpler. Pre Alien, you have anything else to add? You have any jokes? Anything for the
Not,
listeners?
not today.
All right, no worries. I'm a joke myself. Just kidding. I'm not a joke. I'm the host of the show. Finally, I would like to ask if you don't have anything, if you want to add something else, you can say that before answering the question. What are the recent news from the AirNFTs platform? Because initially when the space began, I asked the alien about the recent news from the FIO protocol, and I think it would be awesome for you to mention about the recent news, recent updates, and what are the plans for the AirNFTs marketplace for the listeners.
The biggest recent update is that we integrated Ethereum chain on our marketplace. So yeah, that's a big milestone for us. So now we have Ethereum, BNB chain, Polygon, and Phantom, supported on our marketplace. So yeah, Ethereum was recently done. So we are very excited about to give our users and our artists ETH. And a lot of them were asking about when are you going to integrate ETH? And finally, we have done that this year. And we also plan to look forward to other chains also, as and when things develop and we see that if there is more attraction to other chains and who are doing great or for NFTs. So we will be looking forward to those chains also. And yeah, so and many other updates are in pipeline, but obviously that we will announce soon. So the Ethereum announcement was done recently. That's the one which is happening in Air NFTs.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. Hope that in the future, because we also have some plans to attract more NFT artists. Omchain is also an EVM compliant blockchain. The fees are low, the transactions are fast. Our motto is like maximum speed, minimum fees. That's what we believe.
See that if there is more attraction to other chains and who are doing great or for NFTs. So we will be looking forward to those chains also. And yeah, so and many other updates are in pipeline, but obviously that we will announce soon. So the Ethereum announcement was done recently. That's the one which is happening in Air NFTs.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. Hope that in the future. All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. Hope that in the future, because we also have some plans to attract more NFT artists. Omchain is also an EVM compliant blockchain. The fees are low, the transactions are fast. Our motto is like maximum speed, minimum fees. That's what we believe. That's what we are aiming to deliver, and hope that in the future, is the NFT eruption, we would also we will be integrated to the NFTs. So thanks a lot for joining this space, guys. Both my guests, Alien and Pre. Thanks a lot for joining to this space, and for the listeners, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you're not following FIO Protocol, AirNFTs, or Omchain, you can just check their usernames from the Omchain's recent tweets and give them a follow, because all three projects are going to be shipping new features, new products, and everything soon. So make sure to check the updates and follow the accounts as well. Alien just sent me a DM, says that he lost the voice. I think he's having the issue that I was having, but we're coming to the end of the show. So again, for the sake of this event, for our guests, we have burned 1 million on chain from the circulation. A tweet and announcement will be made about it soon. Again, thanks a lot for joining us. Pri, you have any last words?
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Air NFTs on Twitter, and we also have an awesome NFT blog on our website, which is airnfts.com. So please check that out. We regularly, post there with all the, things happening in the NFT space and in general, whatever is, happening in the ecosystem. So make sure to check out our blog and to follow us on Twitter. And thank you for having me. It was awesome talking to you guys.
Yeah, no worries. And Alien is here. Alien, you got any last words? we're doing the usual closing session,
Yeah.
and I am, harassing people to follow your accounts.
Great.
Guys, please just follow Omchain, FIO, AirNFTs. Come on, we have a lot of good news.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm excited for the future developments of Omchain, and thank you for having us. And I want to turn the question to you. Do you have any last developments from Omchain? You've been gracious enough and nice enough to ask us, so I ask you as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot for asking. Basically, I am coding the mobile wallet right now, which will have the FIO protocol integration as well as the NFTs, both from the Omchain network and other networks. We are also thinking of integrating the Air NFTs website, the NFT marketplace, as a dApp in the dApp section of the mobile app. We hope to launch the wallet by the end of this month, hopefully, if we don't encounter any problems on the markets, the Play Store and the App Store. So hopefully we'll be delivering the best wallet out there. It has great features. It has the information of the tokens. You can set price notifications. You can set notifications for receiving cryptocurrencies. You can do all sorts of things, and it's easy to mint NFTs. It's easy to browse NFTs, and it's really easy to trade NFTs as well. Thanks a lot for asking.
Oh, amazing. Looking forward to it. Yeah, let us know whenever you comes, and we help you promote. I'm excited about this as well.
All right, awesome. So again, thanks a lot to everyone for joining. This is the end of the episode 6 of the season 2 of Omchain Talks. Stay tuned for the next episodes. See ya. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye, everyone.